Let's talk about Shakespeare's The Tempest. The one with the magic, the spirits, the deserted island. Well, what if I told you the real storm in this play isn't the one that wrecks the king's ship? What if it's the storm raging inside the guy who created it all? Because, see, this play, it's not just a fantasy. It's this really deep and honestly kind of unsettling look at what absolute power actually does to a person.
Right at the heart of it, you've got this one guy, Prospero. And for literally centuries, people have been arguing about him. Who is this guy? Is he the hero, the wrong duke just trying to get back what's his? Or is he something much darker? A total control freak, a tyrant playing with everyone like they're pieces on his own private chessboard? And look, let's be clear, his power is absolute. I mean, the guy controls the weather, he commands spirits, he can literally mess with what you see and think. He's the writer, director, and the star of this entire show he's put on. So what we're gonna do here is pull back that curtain and try to figure out the big question, why? What's the point of all this control?
All right, so let's start with the man himself. This incredible power he has. Is he using it for justice? Or is it really about something else? I love this quote. It's from a scholar named David Scott Castan, and it totally reframes how you see the play. It's asking us to think of Prospero not as a king, but as a theater director. And it's so true. He's pretty honest about what he wants, right? He tells people his plans. But just because the director tells the actors what the play is about, that doesn't mean they're free to do whatever they want. They still have to follow his script.
So how does he pull this off? Well, his authority isn't based on people agreeing with him. It's based on the fact that he's the smartest guy in the room, or on the island anyway. He got burned back in Milan, trusted his brother and, poof, lost everything. So now, he trusts no one. And that knowledge he has, his magic, it's not for enlightenment, it's for domination. Every single thing that happens is staged by him. And his excuse is always the same. It's necessary. It's for the greater good, for the outcome he wants.
And this leads to a really, really important question from another scholar, James Shapiro. Is what Prospero is doing really justice? Justice implies some kind of fairness, some limits on power. Or is he just creating order, his order, and slapping the label justice on it? Because those two things are not the same at all.
And here's the real cost of his whole project. In Prospero's perfect little world, you can't really disagree with him. There's no room for it. It's not that people lose the argument, it's that they just get completely exhausted by his power. He wears them down until they just give up. His version of order is built on silence. Okay, so if you want to see this control in action, look no further than his two employees, Ariel and Caliban. They are basically the living embodiment of how he operates.
And they're two sides of the same coin, really. With Ariel, it's all about what you might call soft power. The chains are invisible. It's control through guilt, through debt. I saved you, so you owe me. Freedom is always coming, just not today. But with Caliban, it's hard power. The chains are very, very visible. It's pure force, threats, and taking away his home. One is mind games, the other is just raw power.
Yeah, this scholar, Catherine Belzy, nails it here. Ariel isn't tied up. He's tied up in a moral debt. Every single time he brings up freedom, Prospero hits him with the guilt trip. Hey, remember who saved you? It's psychological manipulation. And in some ways, that's way more effective than any physical chain. Then you have Caliban. And this is where things get really dark and, frankly, really familiar from history. A scholar named Paul Brown points out the logic here. Prospero justifies taking everything from Caliban by saying he's civilizing him. I taught you to speak. I gave you order. It's this chilling, classic justification for colonization, using the idea of making things better to excuse taking them over. But Prospero's web of control goes way beyond his servants. You might think, okay, but what about the love story? Miranda and Ferdinand? That's pure, right? Well, not so fast. In Prospero's grand plan, even love is just another tool in his toolbox. I mean, check out the playbook. Step 1, keep your daughter completely isolated from the world so you are her entire reality. Step 2, magically drop the perfect, handsome prince right in front of her. Step 3, create fake challenges to make sure the guy is worthy while you watch from the bushes. And the final step 4, give your blessing because, hey, this marriage just happens to solve all your political problems and get you back your kingdom. It's a lot. So what about Miranda's innocence? Is it fake? Well, one scholar, Janet Adelman, has this great take. She says the innocence is real, but it's not natural.
It's a carefully protected condition. It's innocence that's been grown in a lab, basically. Her wonder at seeing other people for the first time is totally genuine, but it's only possible because she's never seen anyone else.
And that's the whole weird thing about it. Their love is real. Shakespeare makes that clear. It's sincere. But the only reason it gets to exist is because it serves Dad's master plan. Their feelings are real, but the situation is completely manufactured. Emotion is basically being used as a political tool.
Okay, so this all leads up to the big finale. Prospero finally gets all his enemies in one place, and he announces he's going to forgive them. But hang on, is this a genuine moment of mercy? A real change of heart? Or is this just the final act in his grand performance? To really get what's happening, you need to understand this idea of theatrical forgiveness. Think of it this way. It's forgiveness for show. It's not about actually healing wounds or making things right. It's a public performance meant to tie up loose ends and get things back to normal, even if nobody's actually sorry for what they did. And when you look at the end of the Tempest through that lens, it all clicks into place. Forgiveness only flows one way, from Prospero down. And the biggest piece of evidence? His brother Antonio. The villain of the whole story, the guy who started everything, he never says he's sorry. Not one word. And Prospero forgives him anyway. That's why the ending feels so off. Everything looks calm on the surface, but you know the wounds are still there. And then, of course, he breaks his magic staff. He drowns his books. We all want to see that as him finally letting go, right? An act of humility. But here's the final brilliant twist the play leaves us with. Is giving up his magic actually giving up power? Or is it the ultimate flex of power? The playwright deciding, okay, the show's over, the end.
So where does that leave us? What's the final verdict on Prospero? Well, the genius of Shakespeare and of this play is that he never gives us an easy answer. He basically turns to the audience and says, you decide.
There's a great line from the material we used for this explainer that imagines what Shakespeare might say to us. I didn't want to leave you with perfect justice. I wanted to leave you with order restored and let you figure out if those are the same thing. And that right there is the whole point. Because let's be real, the ending is messy. You can still see all the cracks. Antonio is still silent. We never find out what happens to Caliban or his island. The play makes it crystal clear that just because things are back in order doesn't mean everyone is healed. And so that's the question the play leaves us with. The same one people have been wrestling with for over 400 years. A question you have to answer for yourself. Is just putting things back in order the same thing as justice?